amateurs, so long as the message is of a non-commercial, personal nature. And we've got to know if that's true or false. I'll read it to you once again. I guess probably the wording is important here. U.S. amateur radio operators may handle any third-party traffic from foreign amateurs so long as the message is of a non-commercial, personal nature. True or false? What do you think, Boop?
Oh, let me see now. One side of my brain says, you ain't right. The other side of my brain says, I ain't right. So if I put the two together, I ain't right, you ain't right, then we're not right. So I'll go out on a limb and say true.
Oh, man, I gave you a true, false, and... anyway, it's false. You can't handle third-party traffic from foreign amateurs. Sorry about that, Boo. But, hey, you learned something. Look at the bright side. Put a smile on your face, over.
Oh, I'm smiling all right. I'm smiling. See, Bob thought it was true as well. However, I don't know however what, but anyway, that was a good question, and next true or false question you give me, my answer is going to be, I don't know. So I'll let you move along, and I will keep the blue line moving wherever I see fit. Over.
Yeah, your call sign should be WE9IDK. I don't know.
I can change it real quick, over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you can. But lastly, it would give you a lifetime membership number of 1, because it'd be the first time check-in. Oh, well. Hey, Booper, thank you again for being the logger tonight. Everybody, listen up here, Booper is the logger for this Brothers Net tonight, and you're all lucky, especially me. So let me see, over to David. I heard David on the Night Watch Net there. He was pontificating. Sounded good. What an excellent thing. He always has this incredible 15 kilowatt signal. 82 AFA and the Brothers Net. This is N1VH. Hello, David.
November 1, Delta Hotel, Kilo at Delta 2 Alpha, Foxtrot Alpha. Good afternoon to you, Paul, and Booper out there, Whiskey Alpha 9 Kilo, Foxtrot Bravo. All right, so yeah, we're doing good. I'm not quite running that, but I'm running 1100 watts, so that's what I do. I can run 15, but I don't. But hey, it's all good, man. I just do what I need. So, and believe it or not, I used to run a 500 watt amplifier. I ran an ALS 600 for a while, and that did pretty darn good. And so plus I have an an SB200 tube amp, and that did pretty darn good too. So it's all really only in your antenna. It's all in your antenna, man. Don't let anybody fool you. The power is nice, and it cuts through, especially in bad conditions. But in good conditions, it's just antenna. Over.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Well, let me tell you this, David. If you're running 100 watts, you must have some kind of a long nose. You can probably work your keyboard with the end of your nose, Mr. Pinocchio. Oh my gosh, 100 watts. You're running 25 over 9 here, David. It's just not possible. Anyway, are you ready for a
1,100 watts is what I'm running.
Hollywood movie about the ham radio?
Don't call me a liar, man. I don't like that. Over.
100 watts. We could run a little contest here and say how many people believe David's running 100 watts. Most everybody is S9 tonight, and you're 25 over. Your 100 watts must be running into a, let's see, what would that be? That would probably be about a 30 dB gain antenna. Is that what it is? It's all antenna, right?
Comment. I'm going to give you 100 watts. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to give you 100 watts. Over.
Okay, well, there's a comment while you're doing that. Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, this is the Booper, WA9KFB. Tomorrow morning at 9:37 a.m. your time, I've made an appointment for you with an audiologist because your hearing is not very good. He said 1,100 watts. Now he's going to give you a sample of 100 watts. So I want to make sure that you're tuned up and your hearing is ready and available. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you know what the problem is? My earpods that I'm using are from China.
Your brain is from China. Come on.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. Oh, well. Okay, well, anyway, David, are you ready with your 100 watts?
Here is 100 watts. Can you hear me on my 100 watts? Over.
Yeah, you were doing 20 dB over at 9. 20 over. When I first was looking at the S meter, back when you were running some other power, you were at 25. So 5 dB, that's not too bad, actually. But yeah, boy, that 100 watts and that antenna you got, you just don't change anything.
Okay, so do you want 1,100 watts or do you want 100 watts? Just give me the answer. There's your question. 1,100 or 100? Over.
Oh, 100 is more than enough. We probably can get some answers here on the IM. Let's see, Bob is saying that you were +5, same as it was here. Except that he said you were 20 over before. Oh, wow, cool. What a signal, David. You should be really proud of that. But anyway, are you ready for your Hollywood movie ham radio question?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll leave it on 100 watts and let you guys suffer. Okay, go ahead. Give me your question.
Okay, here we go. In which 90s movie did ham radio save the day? In which 90s movie did ham radio save the day? The first answer is Contact. The second answer is Titanic. The third answer is Independence Day. The fourth answer is Congo. What do you think, David?
Well, I definitely know it's not Titanic because they did save the day there. So, man, geez, I don't know. I'm gonna say number 1, Contact. Over.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. Let's see what it says. Oh gosh, Independence Day. You know, I saw that movie. And all I can remember is that in Contact, there is a scene where you can actually spot a Hammerland HQ-170 receiver in Contact. But the answer, it says here, is Independence Day. Is there anybody that can confirm that? Over.
WA2KDI, that's Roger, and with CW that they were using to contact everybody around the world on how to take out the motherships.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Independence Day, David. Well, we both got it wrong. Golly gee whiz. And I certainly never meant to imply that you were a liar. Oh gosh, nobody on this net is a liar. We might misstate things, perhaps. But I didn't hear the 1,100 watts. I heard 100 watts. And that's because of the got earpods from China. You know, they were a lot less than the $400 earpods from Apple. I think these were $29. Over.
Yeah, I got a brother-in-law. He does the same thing, and he's got some new ones. You know what? To be honest with you, we could barely. We're talking on a phone, and it goes through his phone, and it was terrible. It really was. And he's a truck driver. He's on the road, so he's got to be hands-free, anyways. You know, that's just the way. That's the way it goes. They'll work on that technology, and before you know it, it'll be all good, man. Well, who knows when it'll be? China will definitely come up with it before anybody else does, though. Roger?
Oh, yeah, no question about it. They are the ones that we are in competition with now, for sure, technology-wise, anyway. Very good. Well, I'm going to move along here. We're at 6:45 already, and let's see if we can't keep things rolling along. Julian, been a while since I've heard from you. KO4RND down in Glen Ellen, Virginia. This is N1DH. Come on in, Julian.
Go ahead, M1DH. Copy.
Okay, well, like I say, it's really super good to hear you. Let me get ready for your question here. I have to do some clicking in order to do that. Are you ready for the question, Julian? Over. Okay, here's the question. Bleeder resistors are typically found installed across the leads of which high voltage power supply components? The question is, bleeder resistors are typically found installed across the leads of which high voltage power supply components? The first answer is capacitors. The second answer is inductors. The third answer is diodes. And the fourth answer is voltage regulators. What do you think, Julian? Over.
I'm leaning toward capacitors, so that'll be answer one.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, you got us going again. Got us going again on the right answers. Well done, Julian. Yep, bleeder capacitors are bleeder resistors are used to bleed off any charge that's left in the capacitors, and which is a grand idea. I have been bitten by high voltage capacitors before, and it's no fun. Let me tell you that. But anyway, how are things down in Glen Ellen? Whereabouts is Glen Ellen, Julian? Over.
West of Richmond, Virginia. And yeah, that doesn't sound good looking at the capacitor.
No, boy, that's for sure. You know, when I was a youngster, the first job I ever had was working in a TV repair shop, and I think that's how I got started on electronics. But there was a thing called a flyback transformer and a capacitor in there that could really rip you, and I got it a couple of times, and the guy who was running the repair shop just thought that was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. So I learned a lot, let's put it that way. But very good, Julian. You got us going on the positive side of things. Appreciate that. Let me move back up to Pennsylvania. We're going to PA from VA. Go see what Corey's got going on tonight. KE3GR. This is N1DH. Good evening, Corey.
Yeah, good evening, Dan. Good evening, everybody on there. Thanks for picking me up. A few comments. I tell you that the other gentleman, 1100 watts to 100, I think maybe a 4 or 5 dB drop over here. And I'm going to add one other thing. It's the antenna, and it's absolutely the feed line. You know, more smoke through the wire, more power to the antenna. Let's see, what else? Flyback transformers. I tell you, Dan, years back, my dad had an old television, and I went in there to troubleshoot, and I tapped that darn flyback with my finger, and it punched a hole through my finger. There was a breakdown of the insulation on, I guess, one of the caps that were on that flyback that was protecting it, and yeah, it knocked me on my backside. So yeah, you got to be careful. What else? We did a lot this week. We laid a floor in our daughter's 2 rooms. That was the job, Ann and myself. We did a lot of landscaping before this rain, and we're kind of tired, but it's good to be retired so we don't have to do this every day. So go ahead with your question, Dan, and Boop, I hope Phyllis is doing good, and nice contacting everybody. KC3GR.
Yeah, very good, Corey. Well, sorry to hear about your flyback transformer acquaintance. Boy, a hole through your finger. That does not sound like fun. I have gotten a couple of RF burns, and those, especially if you do it on like the pad of your finger, those leave like a corn on your finger. It's a portion of skin that's actually cooked and it's hard, and it sits inside of this round red spot, and it is painful. Boy, I remember that. But anyway, let's see here. Corey, let me give you a question. I don't like these questions that ask for a year, and they got all the years so close together. For some reason or another, they do that, and unless you absolutely know the question, there's no way you can use any logic. But anyway, I'm going to give it to you anyway, just because I like you. Let's see. What year did WWV move to Fort Collins, Colorado? Question is, what year did WWV move to Fort Collins, Colorado? The first answer is 1966. The second answer is 1968. The third answer is 1959. And the fourth answer is 1964. Do you have any idea, Corey? Over.
You know, I tell you the truth, to be very honest with you, you might as well ask me, Dan, what is the weight of goose poop, the average weight of goose poop? I have no idea, but I'm going to say number A or answer A. And just a quick one about those RF burns and such. You know, I have a home brew over here designed by an electrical and mechanical engineer, really smart guy, and I think he'll wind up coming on one night. I know on occasion he does monitor and he listens, copies the mail. And this thing runs a pair of 4 1000As. So to give you an idea, the plate transformer in here is run by a Variac. I think it's a 60-amp Variac 240 volt, and the plate is a 3-amp at 6,500 volts. And he's gonna move, and he's not gonna keep this thing, and he was gonna cannibalize it. And I really wanted it because it is such a beautiful build. And I went down there, and he opened up the back of that and asked me to do some inspecting in there, make sure I liked it. And the first thing I asked him if he had a good chicken stick. And he didn't say a word to me, and I hooked it up ground first, and then I started to bleed things off to make sure. And then he says, now if you want it, I'll sell it to you. Because there were 2 or 3 guys that wanted it in the worst way, but he would not sell it to them because of the tragedies he has seen, it seems, with these banks of electrolytic capacitance. So you're right about RF burns, and I've been burnt once or twice too, Dan. And boy, they hurt like heck. And the other thing, they just never heal, especially if you get them on an extremity near the tip of the finger. They just don't heal. So I'm going with number A, and if that's not right, well, then I'm going to try to find out how much the average goose poop weighs. Back to you, Dan. N1BH and the brothers and sisters, KE3GR.
Okay, Corey. Yeah, very good. Well, thanks for the story. And, wow. Yeah, that sounds like quite an amplifier. Holy mackerel. With 6,500 volts at 3 amps. Wow. That's like a lot of wattages. Oh, very good. Hey, by the way, I should have started the transmission by saying, ding, 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 ding. You're correct. It turns out that WWV did move to Fort Collins, Colorado in 1966. That was the year after I graduated from high school. Wow, 1966. You got it. So, okay, I think we've had 3 in a row here that were correct. All right, we're back on it. Let me see if George can keep the string going here, and we'll get to George by 7 o'clock. There's something new, George. NA3Y down in Jonestown. This is N1DH. Hello, George.
Hello, this is NA3Y. I was going to just try 100 watts at first, but then, I got the amp on. I put the double bazooka up yesterday, and this antenna is amazing. You need no tuner at all. I mean, I don't have the tuner running right now, and it's showing a 1.03 SWR. And as high as it goes is maybe 1 1/4, 124. But anyways, how do I sound, folks? How about you? Silver Dollar Dan, or is this? I lose track here. Dan. How do I sound, Dan?
You sound terrific. In fact, you sound just like you always do, which is really, really good. The audio's terrific. And you're running at about 10 over 9. So you're S9 plus 10 dB here locally in Massachusetts. So, gosh, it looks like you're doing just super. Whatever you've done is working correctly. Are you ready for a ham radio geography question? Over.
No, but go ahead.
Okay, here we go. He's not ready, but he usually gets them right anyway. Which U.S. call sign district is the smallest in land mass? Which U.S. call sign district is the smallest in land mass? The first answer is the 1 district. The second answer is the 2 district. The third answer is the 3 district. I bet you figure out what the fourth answer is. The fourth answer is none of the above. None of the above. George, there you go. Let's have it.
Wait a minute. How can it be none of the above? You gotta have one of them's gotta be the smallest. I would think. But you know what? Since you got that none of the above in there, I'll go with the base thing of what you're doing since none of the above is this. So I'll go with that. Over.
No, darn. Oh, golly. Anyway, it is not none of the above. It is, in fact, the 2 call sign districts. What's 2? That's New York and New Jersey, isn't it? Yeah, New York and New Jersey. And if you think about it, New England is big. The state of Maine is big. And the 3 districts is what? Pennsylvania and Maryland, is it? And maybe Delaware. But anyway, yep, the answer is the 2 district, George. Sorry.
Well, you know, I didn't have my map to cheat on. I really didn't know. I wasn't sure if it was 1 or 2. So I just said none of the above. But yeah, that's a question I'll probably forget. So thanks for that.
Yeah, okay, George. Did you see the signal reports you were getting from on the IM there? Seems like folks were hearing you pretty good, over.
No, let me look here. 15 over and a blooper there. Gee, blooper, I get you 15 over with no amp. So, okay, 15's good. Mark there. He's got me 15. I'm a 15 over everywhere. Oh, thanks, Bob and Mark and Looper and who else is there? Yeah, I mean, it works great. I mean, the only thing I should do probably is when you put in double bazooka up, you should go to stringer because that coax, it is coax, and they could probably pull apart there if they get a high wind. So I'm going to have to get a stringer across the length of that. That's add more support. But I'm happy with the antenna. I really am. Maybe some other night I'll just go barefoot when the band's better, see how it's done. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for the question. I'll never forget. Oh, I won't forget. And I guess you can go on to the next guy. So, WA9. Oh, no, it's not WA9. Hold on. Well, anyway, it's NH3Y. Go on to the next guy.
Hey, George. Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, looks like we got the Canadian guys going on their hockey stuff. Oh, my gosh. Let's see here. And, George, your signal is perfect, according to what everybody's telling me here. And, so, anyway, there you go. It's not hard to imagine you as being barefoot. But pregnant and barefoot, boy, that would be a story, wouldn't it? Let's see here. I'm going to move along to Fred.
matter of fact, I had smoked baby back ribs.
Oh, man. You really know how to hurt a guy, Fred. Well, one good thing about that is that at least I can call you late for dinner tonight. Okay, here we go.